notice that I have unlocked 2 new ships since last time. I've played a couple of games. Welcome back, I hope things are going well for you. We are back in FTL because I have decided that we cannot move on until we get at least 1 victory. So, you know, who knows how long that'll take, but we got pretty close last time, which more likely means we're probably due for a number of very, very quick runs. So, let's see. We could be this rock cruiser type A. It has 2 missile launchers, the Artemis missiles and the Hull missile. It starts with 3 rock crew members, and it has the rock plating augmentation. Superior hull armor provides a 15% chance to negate incoming hull damage. Hit systems will still be damaged. So, that's a pretty great augmentation. Help avoid some damage throughout a run. We could be any of the Sultan cruisers. This one has 4 Sultan crew members to start with. Quite a few systems that come preloaded in, including a drone control and a backup battery. It has the Sultan shield augmentation, which gives you a little bit of extra defense at the start of a battle. We could go for the Mantis Type B or the Slug Type B. The Mantis is pretty fun, in my opinion. They have an emphasis on teleporting boarding parties. Maybe that'll be a fun theme for this run. And we can think about how that sort of synergizes with the or what ideas it might inspire for roleplay ideas. We have 2 Mantis ship options: layout A, layout B, the Gila Monster or the Basilisk. But for my personal completionist tendencies, I think I'll go with Type B, the Basilisk, because if we do well, we will unlock Type C. So, yeah, I like this idea. Let's do a Mantis Cruiser Type B. The Basilisk with 2 crew members here. Well, 2 different crew members now. Keep going until I find some names that I like. Vincent and Bigby. I think I've had in a previous run, both of these fellas in my party. I believe it was the last run I did, the one that I made a video of. Okay, this is too good to pass up. Mullet and Emma. I love that. Alright. Let's go ahead and start this normal mode. And I don't think I talked about this last time. This game does have 3 difficulties: easy mode, normal, and hard. Easy gives increased scrap rewards and easier enemy generation. Normal gives standard scrap rewards and enemies, and your score gets a 25% boost. Hard mode gets low scrap rewards and harder enemies. Your score gets a 50% boost. I've only ever played on normal. I find normal to be a pretty fun experience, so I haven't felt the need to bump it down or bump it up. But maybe I'll try one of these sometime. The Basilisk also comes loaded with the Mantis Pheromones augmentation to increase our crew movement speed. And it has a boarding drone and a defense drone. So let's go ahead and start. Just as before, the data you carry is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies for the journey, so make sure to explore each sector before moving on to the next, but get to the exit before the pursuing rebel fleet can catch up. So, we have, I can't even say, we have Captain Mullet and Engineer Emma. Wondering if I want Emma on engines or not. This ship is interesting because it starts first off with 2 bars of shielding and 3 energy, or 3 power slots for drones. Not to mention our teleporter. So, let's go ahead and jump, but first, we should talk about what the Basilisk is doing working for the Federation. What a Mantis cruiser like this is doing, delivering these, the information that we've gathered. And I think that, in this particular situation, given that we have 2 Mantis crew members and a Mantis cruiser, we are a born and bred Mantis ship, and I think I kind of like the idea that I know that I'm blending the Death Star 1 and 2 stories, but with Rogue One, spoilers for Rogue One, I guess, if you haven't seen it, but how the crew gives their lives to get the critically important plans, and get them, hand them off at the end of the movie. And then with the Death Star 2, how we hear Mon Mothma say that many Bothans died to bring us this information. In this instance, I'm imagining something like many Mantises died to bring us this information, right? And Captain Mullet and Engineer Emma were 2 members of a full crew of Mantises that ran this ship at full capacity. And we have just escaped from a very deadly mission for our crew with the information, and now Mullet and Emma are the only 2 survivors of their previously the numerous crew members aboard their ship. So, hobbled in that way, Captain Mullet and Engineer Emma limp away from the planet and begin fleeing to Federation space to deliver the information. Let's go ahead and make our first FTL jump. distress beacon right over here. We also have a nebula up there. I like to get to nebulas whenever possible because they slow the fleet as it advances towards you. But I do want to hit this distress beacon, so maybe we could go up here and then do a sort of a triangle back down here and then hit the distress beacon. Let's also peek at the exit. And we can reach it from any of these beacons, so there's no place where we can really get locked out. Let's go ahead and make our jump. You jump into a field of debris. It appears a battle recently took place here, and the loser seems to have been a civilian ship. A message was left on repeat before it was destroyed. Rebels attacking. Please send aid. The responsible rebels are likely still nearby. Well, I think we can spend a short time looking for the rebel ship. You are able to quickly track down the rebel. Let's hope he's as easy to defeat in combat as he was to find. So this is really not a threat to us at all. It has a single basic laser here, and if I were not making a video and thus had a desire to keep things moving, I might consider, this is kind of funny, but I might consider stepping away from my computer for a few minutes and letting this rebel just fire at us, because there's no possible way it could break through our shields, and as long as it keeps firing and missing, you'll see, if you look up at the top left, Mullet and Emma. Let's see if it happens when it fires at us this time. Well, the next time it misses, you'll probably see a little plus symbol up here next to their names, indicating that their stats on their relevant stations have increased. There you go. Mullet's helmsmanship. I'm sure there's piloting, I guess, increased, while Emma's engine skills increased. So, because we're in no danger, I could walk away, let the ship continuously fire at my ship, come back in a few minutes, and have Mullet and Emma at max skill level for those relevant stats. Just a little exploit that I would probably do if I didn't have the if I would just play by myself, so to speak, and could afford to exploit in that way. But let's do what we do best, I suppose, and send our two mantises to board the enemy ship, so we can send them. So this is how boarding works. You have the crew members in the teleporter room, and then I click on a button down here to prep the teleporter. I click on the room I want them to be teleported into, and then they go there, and then the teleporter goes on cooldown, and because we have a level 1 teleporter set up, it's a 20-second cooldown. That cooldown can decrease if you upgrade your teleporter more. So the trick is not to get your boarding party into a bad situation where they're gonna die aboard the enemy ship before you can recall them with the teleporter. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and send them to the teleporter room. Kick this battle off. And I like to put them into this room with two people, and yikes, they have a border repelling drone aboard their ship, which is pretty rough. So let's get our Mantis team out of there and get them into the med bay to heal up. We managed to take out one of the crew members, so things are going well. Alright, let's go for round 2 here. Their drone station here, I was confused why they had it because I didn't see any drone presence, but now I understand it was because of the drone aboard their ship that was repelling my attackers. There are no more life signs remaining on the ship. You strip it of useful materials. Now we go ahead and teleport our crew back. Heal them up to prepare them for our next jump. And we can take a look at that challenge we just got. Oh no, it was a Steam achievement. Whatever. And then let's jump to our next location in the nebula. With the sensors down, you spend a good deal of time staring out the window. It is, you must admit, rather beautiful here. Nothing gained there, but that's alright. Let's head down towards the distress beacon. An especially well-armed pirate ship approaches you. Hand over one of your crew members, and the rest of you can go free unharmed. Yeah, there's not a chance of this. Mullet and Emma have already lost too many of their friends and crew members. We will never surrender one of our crew to slavers. Boy, this is really tempting the optimizer in me. Again, another situation where they're never going to get through our shielding, so we could just sit here and level up our things. I have two sides of my personality: the role player and the min-maxer, so they can come into conflict sometimes. But let's wait for one more miss to satisfy my min-maxing side, and then we can go ahead and board the ship. This ship is pretty unique because every ship previously that I've acquired a teleporter for, it has only been a 2-space teleporter, but this has 4 spaces, so you can really send a big boarding party over all at once. Alright, let's send our boarding team in. They have a mid-bay here, which is interesting. That could cause problems. Let's start the fight in the O2 room. Is that another anti-personnel drone? Yikes. Alright, so now we need to just sprint around like a bunch of maniacs to avoid getting our people killed while the cooldown comes down. Okay, so the fact that they have a med bay is pretty tricky because they're going to be able to heal up in that very effectively, and it'll be hard to take out their crew members. So I think the move here is that we send them in again, but this time we reinforce them with this boarding drone. So let's send the mantises back, and at the same time we can can send the boarding drone through. Oh, I was sort of hoping he would go to the med bay. Oh man. Alright, not great. Yeah, this is a rough one. But no problem at all. We can make it work. I mean, it's a little bit of a problem, but not one that we can't handle in the grand scheme of things. We just gotta heal up our boarding party and get them back in position. Oh, we're not gonna be able to get the rock. Alright, this is a tough one. Alright, there we go, we got a crew member. That does a lot for us. Sorry, I know this is not the most exciting fight, but I have very few tools at my disposal. I mean, I could take him out pretty easy by sending in another boarding drone, but you know, I don't want to be burning through my drone parts like crazy if I can avoid it. Yeah, I'll send in another drone. I think it's that time. Get him, there we go, nice. Alright, we took out another one. I think we pretty much have this in the bag now. Our drone isn't being the most efficient, but well, that's fine. The drone just takes the heat off of us and lets us isolate crew members. Let's try to pull this guy. Alright, if we can destroy their med bay, they're done for, so we'll go focus fire on that. But the rock has followed us in. I think our two mantises should be able to take him out, no problem. There we go. It appears the slaves did not survive the fighting. You find their burnt bodies in the hold, but before you strip the ship, you hear faint noises in the walls. You break off a latch, and a slave falls out of a hidden compartment, coughing. Once recomposed, the slave offers to join your crew. Well, thankfully, at least somebody survived. Let's get Mullet healed up. So now we have another mantis aboard our ship, and their name is Lagarde. Like our other mantis crewmates, they will probably be focused largely on being part of the boarding party, but in the interim, we'll throw them in the gun room. Another distress beacon. Condor calls for aid. Let's check it out. You have encountered a refugee ship drifting in space. It looks as if it was fleeing the rebel advance and ran out of fuel. Its distress beacon is active, but you're not sure anyone is on board, and its communications seem to be down. Well, let's prepare to board the ship and investigate. As you investigate the ship, you are attacked by the now cannibalistic crew. Driven mad by lack of food, they have turned to feeding on each other. As you fight your way off the ship, one of your crew falls to the crazed attackers, and you are forced to leave them behind, or else lose your entire ship. Sadly, Captain Mullet is gone. very quickly into our journey. FTL giveth and FTL taketh away with these random events. So I think Lagarde's gonna be a quick study at the helm and try to figure this out. It's interesting now Lagarde maybe doesn't have the same motivations to get back to the Federation. Or maybe I'm saying he, I don't. Let's go with let's go with he, why not? Lagarde could be from any background. All we know is that Lagarde's a mantis that ended up as a slave, so could be from anywhere, but I think now that it's just Emma aboard, Lagarde should probably have should have a sort of loyalty to the Federation to keep things smooth on the ship and keep their purpose secure. So let's say that the gratitude from being rescued, learning the importance of the ship's mission, Lagarde's happy to take a position at the helm and help accomplish it. Let's continue jumping. See what we can find. A ship with conspicuous pirate markings is orbiting a nearby moon, broadcasting the simple message claiming to have equipment for sale. Now, I do think that as an entirely mantis ship, that before we went into this mission, very likely we were pirates or hunters in the mantis sense of the word, which is means that we hunted other sentient travelers of the stars. So I think our first impulses are often for violence. So if this ship has pirate markings, let's attack before they can get away. Go load up. And let's land in the gun bay. We have a couple of can't quite tell what we're fighting in there, but whatever we're fighting, they're slapping us around a bit, so let's keep on the run. You can see it gets to be a pretty silly strategy at this point, but you gotta do what you gotta do to keep your people alive. Go heal them in the med bay. And then we need to get them back on board before their guns are able to break through our shields, which doesn't seem like is gonna happen anytime soon. I think we're probably safe, but let's finish them off. With the crew dead, you are able to take the fuel out of storage. You also take all the scrap you can manage. I think that the Basilisk, our ship, was probably a mantis hunting ship for many years before our run-in with the Federation led it to allying with them. You arrive at an infrequently used beacon close to a pulsar. Before long, a rebel ship happens to jump nearby. Looks like you'll have to fight. And that's fine. We can fight, we can certainly fight, so... They have no medbay on their ship, which is a good sign for us. Medbays make fighting a lot more difficult. Oh boy, our shields got disabled by the pulsar, so they were able to break through. We might have to abandon this fight. taking some pretty heavy damage back on our ship, so yeah, that's pretty rough. Okay, let's get all these doors open to start venting the oxygen, heal our folks up. And there's a fire that just broke out in the, oh my goodness. Our ship is starting to fall apart pretty quick. That's okay. Oh, dearie me. You know, I don't want to be alarmist here, but I think that our run on the Basilisk has come to an unfortunate end. This would, yeah. And here we are, suffocating aboard the Basilisk. But so it goes. As I said, the first video was pretty charmed. When it seemed like we were about to win, I was really quite shocked that we made it that far. You know, the idea that we would win on our first video was pretty lucky, but this is a pretty frequent occurrence, so we're not so far in that we can't restart. Let's do just a quick restart on this video and start again, but let's refresh our characters first. Feels strange to use the same names, you know. Kapalka and Flip. I love it. I love it. Or Philip. Let's get some nice colors though. Yeah, I like this bright green for Philip. Alright, round 2. That didn't happen. But yeah, I think I do like the basic idea that we came up with about Kapalka and Philip were 2 members of a Mantis pirate crew. Well, essentially a pirate crew, but what they would call, you know, a hunting party, who were part of the invasion force into NG space. And then I think one of their raiding excursions went wrong, and they were captured by the Federation. And in the course of that, and in sort of realizing the encroaching threat of the rebel fleet and how it would upend the cultural practices of the Mantis, something of the sort, you know, the crew decided to join up with the Federation and help put an end to the rebel incursion. And here we are now, having recovered this information and beginning to head back. Kapalka and Philip, the only 2 survivors. We have a store down there, which we have no reason to go to. And then we have a distress beacon up here. Let's go check out the distress beacon. You arrive at the beacon and immediately detect a pirate ship. It seems this distress beacon was a trap. So this is interesting. We cannot fight this target. That didn't happen. You didn't see anything. So, our very first jump of this second playthrough. So that was pretty funny actually, because they had a Zoltan super shield. We had nothing that we could do against that because the super shield prevents teleporting aboard, and our boarding drone couldn't get on. So there was nothing we could do except charge up our FTL drive and run away, which, you know, if I were being honorable, I would have done, but here we are. Again, you didn't see anything. And especially this seems familiar. An especially well-armed pirate ship approaches you. Hand over one of your crew members and the rest of you can go free unharmed. We will never surrender one of our crew to slavers. Let's go ahead and teleport aboard. And we have 2 rock crew members that we're going up against here. Rock crew members have substantially increased health, so they can be a little difficult to take down. Let's get our folks back aboard and heal them up before they go in for round 2. So, something I think that Kapalka and Philip need to do is they are running basically a skeleton crew on this ship right now. They are really feeling the loss of all of their crewmates for obviously, emotional reasons, camaraderie reasons, but also simply based on the fact that the ship is not running very efficiently without a full crew to man the systems while a boarding party infiltrates the enemy ship. So I think sorry, I got distracted by this. I think a priority is getting people aboard the ship that can man the systems while other members infiltrate. So this is interesting. After killing the crew here, you find a number of slaves in the cargo hold. They look at you questioningly, and one asks if they are to be released. You could use more crew, but you don't want to force them all to work for you instead. Instead, we can demand the Mantis join our crew, the Rockman, or the NG. This is a very interesting choice because if we choose the Mantis or the Rockman, that is a great idea for strengthening our boarding party attacks. If we choose the NG, that's going to give us a useful person back on the ship. And at this point, I think we need an NG to man the systems on the ship while Kapalka and Philip storm the enemy vessel. So let's demand the NG join our crew. Verify primary objective is to defeat rebels, re-establish peace. You nod and it responds, acceptable. You drop the rest off at a nearby station and strip the ship. And we have gained Mafan, an NG who could really go anywhere at this point. Tough to say where to put them. At the helm they give evasion, which is very useful. You see, if we take them out of the helm, our evasion drops from 10% to 0%. But with the NG's increased repair speed, I would rather have them at one of these systems that tends to accrue more damage. So I think for me it's between the guns or the shields. Let's go ahead and stick them on the shields. Mafan is a shielding expert, let's say, and fits in very well there. Now we can jump here and see what awaits us. We are very close to a star. That's what awaits us. You arrive at the beacon to find yourself dangerously close to a star. An automated rebel ship, impervious to the heat, moves in to engage. So this is interesting, to say the least. Because this rebel ship is... Oh boy, I'm not sure. I think it's too risky to even... send a boarding party. I'm afraid they'll suffocate. is such an easy target. But I'm considering basically holding course and letting the sun destroy the rebel auto scout, because we don't really have the capabilities of doing it. Because, in case you're unaware, these autonomous rebel scouts, they have the unfortunate characteristic of being completely deoxygenated. They have no oxygen in them at all. And so my concern is that with a 20-second recharge time, if I sent a boarding party in there, they would simply suffocate before I could call them back to the ship. So here we are. But the sun is doing a good enough job of destroying the ship on its own. Our ship is taking a little bit of damage, which is unfortunate, but we'll get out of here before it gets too severe. The ship's about to go down anyways. There we go. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material, which in this case is 3 fuel, 2 missiles, and 15 scrap. And I will happily take that. And then I would like to repair our sensors, but let's jump out of here before we do. And we have arrived right at another star, which is pretty funny. Alright, I don't want to hang around here for too long, so let's just launch a drone part and board the enemy ship. Try to take him out quick. Meanwhile, Moffan can go repair the sensors when find a weapon system on their ship. With no crew to stop you, you can install it on your own. So let's get our people back. And a fire has broken out at the helm. So we'll quickly go put that out. Sadly, we did not put it out before the helm was destroyed, so we took a little bit of damage from that. Let's go repair the helm with our NG. Alright, that's not too bad, we can deal with that easily enough. Alright, let's jump, and hopefully we're not jumping straight into another sun, as we have multiple times now. We could go to this distress beacon, but let's go up closer to the rebel advance first, and see what's here. You come across a pirate in hot pursuit of an unidentified ship. You quickly receive a transmission from the pirate. Stay out of this fight, and we'll make it worth your while. And they're offering 2 missiles, a drone part, 8 scrap, and a scrap recovery arm. Now, in some other playthroughs, you know, I tend to be a more heroic crew. This is not us. We are pirates through and through, who are working with the Federation out of necessity more than anything else. And so we will happily accept their bribe, because this is a very good bribe. Good choice, son. We've both come out of this richer. And if I go look at the scrap recovery arm, you can see why it's such a good thing to have. Allows the ship to collect 10% more scrap from any source. So the fact that we're getting this so early in the playthrough means that if we make it far this playthrough, we're going to be getting so much more scrap than we normally would. I mean, so much more. 10% obviously, but still, 10% is not something to turn your nose up at. So we also got this chain laser, and I would like to use it. So we're gonna need to plug an additional power slot into our weapon system. So let's go ahead and do that for 40 scrap, which is expensive because this ship has a weak weapon control system, which means that extra scrap is required for initial upgrades. But now we can use our chain laser, and if we go and look at that, it's pretty cool. This dual shot laser decreases in cooldown the more it fires. After 3 volleys, it only takes 7 seconds to recharge, or to charge. It takes 2 power, has a charge time of 16 seconds. Does 2 shots per charge, has a normal damage of 1 and a low fire chance. So, the chain weapons are maybe not the most efficient in the world, but I think they're pretty fun. Sort of like the anti-bio beams. You're maybe not doing that for your most efficient playthrough, but they're fun to use. You arrive at the distress beacon near a small asteroid belt and find a ship with pirate markings partially crushed between 2 large rocks. It must have been illegally mining the belt without proper equipment. Well, that's their problem. I suppose we could try to dislodge them by shooting at the rocks, but, knowing pirates, more than likely they'll just turn their guns on us. So, instead, we'll destroy and loot the ship. They're just pirates. You decide the pirate is not worth saving, and fire a few volleys into their hull, causing the ship to depressurize and break apart. You move in to loot the remains, yielding 3 fuel, 1 drone part, and 13 scrap. There's a store here. We don't have much scrap, unfortunately, so let's go ahead and bounce up here and see if we can get a little bit more. You detect a rebel scout on an attack approach to a small refueling outpost. Their weapons are charged, but they're not firing yet. Well, we're not exactly chivalrous, but a refueling outpost. If we save them from this rebel attack, we may be able to demand some useful payment, plus the scrap from looting the ship, so let's get involved. The rebel responds to your threat. I don't know who you are, but no one defies the rebel fleet. They move in to engage. So, let's go ahead and teleport our friends in. Let's teleport them into the weapons room, see if they can do some damage there. And meanwhile, we'll fire off a chain laser shot. And our engines are completely down, so let's start repairing them. And now I notice that they have a mid-bay, which is unfortunate, to say the least, but we can deal with that. Oh no, our chain laser has been taken out of commission. This missile launcher is putting us through our paces. So here's what we're gonna do. We need a little extra oomph, so we're going to depower our O2. And our engines. Oh boy. missiles. These missiles are making me very sad. Alright, into the medbay this time. Alright, a very annoying fight. Missiles, I gotta say, are the bane of my existence in this game. Alright, with the crew dead, you quickly salvage what you can. 2 fuel, a drone part, and 20 scrap. The Outpost hails you. The pompous bastards expected free service just because they defeated the Federation. Take this for the help. Well, we won't tell them that we expected free service, just because we defeated the rebels, and we'll take their generosity without the need for a threat. And they give us 3 fuel and 17 scrap. And now we need to repower our oxygen so that our crew doesn't suffocate. And let's go ahead and heal up our folks. And then finally we can go and repair our shields. And with that, I think we're ready to make our next jump, which is to a store. We have 70 scrap. Do we have anything we could sell? We could sell this defense drone. Although I complain about missiles and I haven't even been using my defense drone, so maybe that's on me. Maybe I shouldn't sell my drone. I could sell these mantis pheromones. I don't find them to be the most useful things in the world, but they're helpful. Part of me wonders if it would behoove us to simply jump past the store and save our scrap for another time. Let's go. Let's see what they're offering. Who knows? A ship engineer has set up a small shop here. And they have some drones, they have some crew for hire. They have a scrap recovery arm, distraction buoys, and long-range scanners. You know, another scrap recovery arm. I don't know if you can double up augmentations, but the fact that it's available for sale makes me think maybe you can. 20% more scrap would be pretty tasty. I'm also thinking that a crew member would be particularly useful. We could grab another mantis for our boarding party. Let's do that. And then throw some repairs into our ship. We now have Pipalook, or Pipalook. I like Pipalook. Who will be our interim gunnery sergeant. And then we'll jump to the next location. Upon completing your jump, you receive a message from the nearby ship. Greetings and welcome to our beacon. For a small fee, we'll let you continue on your way. Well, we don't even have their requested toll, so no choice but to reject their offer. Too bad. You'll regret this decision. And immediately let's go ahead and board their ship. Should be a relatively quick fight. With the crew dead, you are able to take the fuel out of storage. You also take all the scrap you can manage. next location. I may be cutting it a little bit close to the rebels here. A ship with conspicuous pirate markings is orbiting a nearby moon, broadcasting a simple message claiming to have equipment available for sale. Well, first of all, I think, our suspicions are it's probably a trap. And second of all, even if it is true, be a great way to get some free equipment and scrap. So let's attack before he can attack. And into their weapons room. Now that the ship has been emptied of hostiles, you search it. Eventually you find a prisoner who offers to join your crew. And, as I said before, I'm getting real tired of the missiles, but I'm the one who keeps not putting up a defense drone, so, you know, I can't be too mad. Yeah, I think, the Mantis crew members here are more than happy to take humans, NG, whoever else who will join the crew and manage the tedium, you might say, of running the systems while we enjoy the fruits of boarding. So, Pipalook can be on I guess sensor duty for now. Jump to this location. A Federation encrypted signal is being broadcast from a nearby planet. Let's go check it out. You find a secret Federation outpost. They are regrettably out of supplies but are eager to tell you of another secret base. They give you the coordinates. Well, we're always on the hunt for supplies, so let's grab it. This looks like a tough choice here. This is right on the line where the next jump might be the rebels might overtake the exit. But it's so close that, oh boy. Let's be bold. It's early enough that we can be a little bold, right? Is that how that works? I don't know. Let's do it. Your scans reveal an ore refinery and several factories, all standing still and empty. No life signs detected. And so we didn't get anything from that, and the rebels have taken the exit. So, you found the exit beacon, but the rebels got here first. You must survive long enough to be able to jump to the next sector. So that's pretty rough. But let's go ahead and we can just hold out for as long as possible. There we go. Killed that crewman before they had a chance to, oh dear. We are locked onto, which means our day is about to get very bad. Basically, all we're doing right now is hoping and praying that the FTL drive charges as quickly as possible. Because what's happening right now is the fleet has orbital ship batteries, or anti-ship batteries, and there we go. They have just blasted through through our hull there, dealing 3 damage. And causing us to need to repair this room. But the FTL drive is just about charged, so we can jump to the next sector. And for our Mantis-based pirate or hunter crew, whichever term you prefer, we call ourselves hunters. The Mantis-controlled nebula or sector feels like home, so we're going there. You've entered a poorly charted area of space that's known to be home to the Mantis. Ensure your hull plating is up to scratch and that you have enough fuel in the tank to make it through. One thing that I wish this game did, which this game does a lot, I haven't been using my chain laser at all. I feel very silly. In that sort of, dreams for a game, I just think that with the variety of ships that they have, it would be pretty fun if, because for instance I'm in a Mantis ship, it would substantially change the way that you played if you encountered Mantis raiders or were in the Mantis areas of space. I know that would be a lot more work, so I understand why it's not in the game, but just in the sort of wish list of things. So, here's our quest. Let's go here first. A rebel ship hails you. Federation scum, we've waited a long time for this. Well, a bit rude. Let's go ahead and deploy a defense drone because they have a missile launcher, and I've learned my lesson by this point. Well, one would hope anyways. We're gonna have Burko be our new captain. Oh, good grief, we have an ion intruder. That's fun. So basically what that's gonna do is roam around our ship and ionize our systems, which is, no fun. They have a cloning bay, you can see here, so we gotta take that out quick before, well, as you saw, somebody just revived there. There are no more life signs remaining on the ship. You strip it of useful materials. Let's get our people home. AR is the hotkey for that. I should learn that. Get it in my bones. We need to power up the med bay. We have a lot of damage on our crew. Yeah, I think that with games like this, roguelikes in particular, but any game that sort of has this sort of procedural generation or heavy customization in any way, it's just such a great deepening of the experience if the game responds the more that a game responds to your customization in an impactful way. The better, the more sort of immersive that game is, and the more rewarding it is, I think, to play. And so, just as if you're playing an RPG, you hear a grating rattle and a soft clicking, you reach for your pistol. Oh, that's pretty creepy. Holy cow, there's 4 Mantis on board. Alright, let's go deal with them. Let's also start making preparations to force them into the because that's a much happier place to fight. Let's start to flee with our lives. Alright, and here they go. I should have been a little smarter and sealed the doors quicker. But, you know, what's done is done. It's not like it ended up hurting me, but just for more optimal play. Anyway, with RPGs, just the more, you know, it's the fundamentally kind of enjoyable thing about an RPG is the more immersive the game world is, the more that it responds to your choices in a realistic way, or realism isn't the right way to put it really, just if the game systems and the role-playing elements respond to your choices in a way that makes your choices feel meaningful, it makes the game more fun to play. And so, in a game like this, I think, oh, I'm in Mantis space, flying a Mantis ship. It'd be fun if there was some response to that, you know, in the same way that if I'm playing, you know, an Elder Scrolls game and I'm playing an Argonian, and some quest gives me a special option to swim in through the sewers because I'm an Argonian or whatever, you know, whatever, anything like that, that really heightens the enjoyment. But it's not really a criticism, just sort of a, you know, in the way that we can wish for things. Okay, a small military craft hails you and a Mantis captain appears on your receiver. All local human colonies have been punished for the Federation's transgressions. Submitted to processing. Alright. Well, this looks like a pretty easy fight. There's only a Mantis and an NG aboard their ship, so should be over and done with before they know it hit them. There are no more life signs remaining on the ship. You strip it of useful materials. Which, in this case, also included a augmentation called an explosive replicator. Missile-based weapons have a 50% chance of not using a missile, which is pretty nice. We don't have any missile-based weapons, but maybe we will in the future. Who could say? Let's start making our way over to our quest. We also have a bit of an awkward exit spot here, so I'm trying to figure out how to get the most value out of our looting here. I think if we pop around here a bit before we grab the quest, that's probably best. A Mantis vessel flashes past your view screen, weapons and engines at full. A tiny blip on the sensor readout marks its quarry. Not out of generosity, but we will aid the civilian ship for the scrap rewards. You frown, power up the weapons, and prepare to engage the Mantis ship. Not today. There's really probably no need to send these people back to their stations every single time. Let's go ahead and focus the cloning area to avoid them respawning. I also don't want those missiles to hit, so let's get a defense drone out. And it did not function, and also our life signs detected on the pirate ship, you hasten to contact the civilian ship. It seems the crew did not survive the assault. You take what you can from the remains of the ship. And now let's evacuate. Heal up as usual. Yeah, it's feeling a bit like a formality at this point to send them back to their basic station, so we can just store them in the jump pod. I don't think we need a crew teleporter upgrade quite yet. A bit more evasion would serve us well, so we'll dump a bunch of upgrades into that. Distress call, which would then force us to the store, which we don't really want because we don't have any scrap, so let's stick on our current heading, I think. The only thing this beacon offers is a view of deep space and a brief respite from battles. For some, this must be a welcome refuge. But for us, we are chasing more battles. And a star awaits us here. Who knows why the mantis would venture so close to a sun? Perhaps it makes for more of a challenge. Well, whatever the reason. Let's block off their teleporter. We got a mantis aboard our ship, which is unfortunate. Now I do want to deoxygenate this area. Needs to go get. I think we're gonna lose our sensors unless that deoxygenation kicks in quick. Oh boy, Barco's in a tough spot, isn't he? Let's run him in there and hope he doesn't. Okay, we have a fire in our O2 system, which is unfortunate. Which also means O2 is not flowing into the med bay. So let's go put a stop to that. Let's get our NG down here to repair. Because it's good for him to get repair experience. Now that oxygen is refilling the area, we can go get them to be healed. Oh boy, the star. Yeah, dear. Okay. Let's go deal with that. I gotta get out of here quick. Running out of patience with this place, which means we need to get somebody into our helm to power up the FTL drive. And it's ready to go, so let's book it on out of here. We are looking a little rough with hull. A nearby mantis mining operation is clearly using heavy NG slave labor. You briefly consider the possibility of emancipating the slaves, but the mantis presence is too formidable. You decide to lay low. Let's jump again. This time to our quest destination. This is where the Federation base told us to go. You arrive in the sector to see a small Federation outpost using their anti-ship battery to fire at an automated drone. To debris from other ships is strewn around the area. It looks like the brunt of the battle is already over. You move in to assist. So, the batteries are going to be targeting the scout. Let's pop out a defense drone. Because, oh, we do have a chain laser that I forgot about. Which I just repeatedly forget about. I'm just going to keep this on auto fire because I never use it wisely anyways. And there we go. You scrap the wreckage. You contact the station once the rebel ship is destroyed. The lone survivor responds. This base is no longer safe. Let me join your crew and all of the station's drones. Patch up your ship. So we got a pretty substantial reward here. 7 hull points have been repaired. 3 fuel, 1 drone part, 30 scrap, and Marcond. Another Mantis. So Marcond will go join our boarding crew. We now have a full 4 Mantis boarding crew, which is pretty good. I also like to have Rockmen in my boarding crew. Sort of 50-50 Rockmen and Mantis, but this is perfectly respectable. This must be one of the rebels' unmanned scout ships. Looks like there's no way around a fight. The ship starts to power up its FTL drive. If it gets away, it will no doubt warn the fleet of your position. No doubt it will, so we're going to focus fire on the engines and hope that we can stop it from escaping. It's not looking great, but we'll probably have another volley from our chain laser. There we go. That's what I like to see. You know, the chain laser is not exactly impressive with how quick it ends up charging, but it's no Vulcan. The ship breaks apart and you feel relief in the knowledge that you will hopefully still be one step ahead of the fleet. And that's good, because if it had gotten away with that information, they would have most likely beaten us to this exit, which would have been a rough time for us. You've arrived at the long-range beacon. When the FTL is charged, you can jump to the next sector. Pardon me, I was just taking a sip of my LaCroix. I have a deep and torrid love affair with seltzer. Okay, you arrive at a quiet spaceport and are immediately hailed by another ship with a once-in-a-lifetime deal. Well, if this is a once-in-a-lifetime deal, then bartering must be a very unimpressive affair in this universe, because it is 2 fuel for 4 missiles. I have no real interest in this. We have no missile weapons, but we do have a missile replicator, or whatever it's called. So, yeah, it's maybe not a terrible idea. Let's make the trade. Why not? Well, the why not would be because we don't have the fuel to spare, but here we are going to the Mantis homeworld. It wasn't even a question in my mind that we would go here. A Mantis ship like this, of course, we're taking the road that we know through our homeland. You've entered a poorly charted area of space that's known to be home to the Mantis. Ensure your hull plating is up to scratch, and that you have enough fuel in the tank to make it through. Well, we'll find out next time if our hull plating is up to scratch, and if we have enough fuel in the tank. But for now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the adventures of the Basilisk, the somewhat, the cursed beginning, and then the second run that we will never speak about again. But we're doing pretty well on this run, I think, and next time to see where our journey takes us. Thank you for watching. I hope things are going well for you. Bye-bye.